start the show today from Mumias, that is in Kakamega, where former Mumias Sugar Company workers and farmers are decrying what they say is unwillingness by the miller to settle their salary arrears. Our reporter Alan Ochanda is on that bit. Alan, good morning. Right, of course, this comes after the workers there claim that despite the receiver manager undertaking to settle their arrears more than 12 months ago, nothing has been forthcoming. Also, remember President William Ruto, while he was in Kakamega 2 weeks ago, he promised to settle sugar sector's debts that have threatened their fortunes. Alan, good morning now. If you can hear me, bring us up to date with this particular story.
Well, Fathia, remember that when President William Ruto was here 2 weeks ago here in Kakamega County, specifically in Malava, launching development projects, he actually delivered here and or rather promised here a bag of goodies for the farmers of sugarcane in this particular sugar belt. And of course, the main takeaway was actually to do away with the debts that are cumulatively actually capped at 60 billion shillings. Of course, all the monies that all the sugar millers really owe the national government. So really promised to ensure that they do away with the debt so as to ensure they breathe life in those particular sugar millers and ensure they resuscitate and the fortunes of the sugar farmers in this particular region. Also, the main takeaway also was to do away with the planned privatization of the sugar millers and, of course, to the joy of sugar farmers here. Of course, remember that initially they had planned to privatize some of the sugar millers here to the chagrin of the farmers and, of course, the political leaders here in Western Kenya. But today we were actually joined here by former workers and farmers here who claim that one of the sugar millers here, they actually being former farmers, former workers of that particular Mumias Sugar Company. Of course, one in the past years, it was actually one of the leading sugar millers here in Western Kenya. But they claim some of their dues, some of the salary arrears haven't been settled yet. There has been a receiver manager in place for over a year now. They claim the sugar mill, the receiver manager had initially, of course, during their terms of engagement planned or pledged to ensure he settles some of the terms of engagement to ensure they settle their salary arrears, but that hasn't been done yet. But let's just speak to some of the former workers here and some of the stakeholders here. Karibu sana hapa, mtueleze jina, alafu mtuambie pengine malilio yenu, maybe in English, just tell us what of course has brought you together, given the president was actually in this particular region, and as former workers here, what are some of the grievances to the receiver manager here of Mumias Sugar Company?
Ya, kwa majina naitwa Patrick Mtimba, mimi ndio chairman Workers Union. Bila umesema rais wakati alikuja Kakamega mwishoni mwa mwaka na wiki mbili zilizopita alisema kwamba ataleta investor mpya kwa sababu mwenye hako hakuna chenye anafanya. Kitu yenye anafanya, nasema hakuna chenye anafanya. Kitu ya kwanza, alikuja Mumias kwa njia, kwanza alikuja Mumias kwa njia ya mlango ya nyuma. Kitu ya pili, tuna court orders. Tuna court order ambayo ilipeanwa tarehe 14 mwezi wa 4 2022. Alipuuzilia mbali. Tunakuja tukawa na code order nyingine tarehe 28 mwezi wa 7 2022, akapuuzilia mbali. Tuna code order ambayo imetoka tarehe 28 mwezi wa 4 mwaka huu, pia ameidharau. Sasa tuna code order ambayo imetoka tarehe 5 ambayo imemwambia hata zile stays zenye alikuwa amepewa zote simeisha. Kwa hivyo chenye nasema saa hizi ni kwamba kama stays zimetolewa tarehe 5 mwezi huu, inatakana awe alitoka hapo mbio sana. Kitu kingine, sijui ni kwa nini mtu kama Sarai anakuja Mumias. Watu wa Kenya sisi tunaheshimu sheria. Kwa nini yeye anadharau Mumias? Wanasema kwamba Sarai kitu anafanya Mumias, kitu ya kwanza vile tulisema kwanza mwambo, ni wizi mtupu. Sarai amepomoa turbines Mumias pale, ndio kwa sababu anadharau mahakama aendelee kuendeleza mambo yake. Alipomoa turbines alipeleka Uganda. Alipomoa feed pump, alipomoa heaters, condensers, packaging machines, water bottling plant zote alibeba. Tunauliza serikali, Hizi vitu sitarudi namna gani, ama wakati Sarai atarudi atatoka Mumias vile ameambiwa atoke. Hizi vitu tutazipata namna gani? Kitu nasema ni hii. Boiler ya Mumias Sugar Company saa hizi iko na crack kubwa. It's a time bomb. It's ticking. Wakati wowote inaenda kuua watu. Ni kitu ambayo nitakane iangaliwe. Sarai kwa wafanyikazi alikataa hata kusikiza sisi, arayasi yetu. Hatuchalipwa malimbikizi yetu ya 2.3 billion. Amekataa hata kwa gate tumefungua nje, uweze hata ongea na yeye. Yaani mkubwa sana, hawezi ongea na binadamu kama sisi. Chenye tunasema ni hii. Sarai ameambiwa atoke Mumias. Chenye tunataka kuona ni Sarai ametoka Mumias. Kama serikali haitusaidii, tunaenda kutoa Sarai Mumias sisi wenyewe. Wafanyakazi mmesikia? Mjitayarishe kwenda kutoa Sarai Mumias. Kitu ingine, na laumu watu wa Afa. Sarai anatembea akichukua miwa changa sana. Afa inafanya kazi gani? Miwa ya 8 months, 7 months anaenda kusiaka. Ili mradi aonekane tu kwamba moshi inatoka. Sio kwamba anataka product, moshi itoke. Na hiyo ni vitu yenye tumesema tukirudia. Kwa hivyo, ni hayo tu. Na nashukuru sana.
Well, we also maybe engage another farmer and of course a stakeholder. Of course, just on your right here, we saw you, of course, when the Agriculture Committee of the National Assembly was actually here and meeting the farmers here, stakeholders. You were actually in attendance. And some of the issues that were raised also included sort of zoning, poaching of cane, and of course the welfare of farmers and the sugarcane stakeholders. Maybe from your end here, what is your, maybe, have you maybe engaged the sugar millers here to ensure that those grievances have also maybe achieved?
So my name is Rafael Welimo. I'm a farmer in Matungu. So far, we have only engaged one sugar miller, and we have agreed with them that there will be no sugarcane poaching. But our other miller here, which is our immediate neighbor, Mumias Sugar Company, seems to be in for business himself. I'm saying so because as we go on, and from the beginning when he was initiated to be given the license to operate that sugar company, he has not recruited a single farmer. He has not assisted any single farmer, but we see him concentrating on the nucleus farming. That aside, we want to ask the government, and this we are very serious as farmers, that for any company that survives on the goodwill of the people, it always survives. But that which survives on the goodwill of the government, it loses. This particular one was especially the new investor here called Sarai. And we want to challenge any leader elected, the politicians, call them, who seem to think that this Sarai is out here for any good. They have been bribed. Bribed because they are the beneficiaries of the loot of imported sugar that is being repackaged here at the expense of us, the farmers. And soon or later, it will all come out. And I want to challenge any farmer, any leader who pretends that he is such a good leader, to come out with a single acre that Sarai has developed outside the nucleus. It is going to take us a generation of about 20 years if the investor remains in as it was given to him. That within 20 years, the man will have exploited us, and by the time he leaves, many of us will have died, and death will be here in plenty more than what you are seeing in Shakahola, because this is a Shakahola. In the sense, bribery allegations are serious allegations because these, and you saw it last December, we saw members of parliament who went there to be given sugar, full loads, to come and distribute to our people here. And they pretended that... Bana Welimo,
maybe some other claims because of the people you're actually accusing are not here to maybe respond. But the other question, we've actually been crying foul for quite some time that maybe the receiver manager, during his term of engagement, promised to ensure that they settle the salary arrears of the former workers. Yes. Have you maybe engaged them to ensure that they lay a roadmap to ensure they fulfill that pledge?
You know, one needs to know the method of engagement and how he got in. This Sarai man is actually the handshake project, because he was brought here, and I stand to be corrected by any one of you reporters, that Mheshimiwa Oparanya, then the governor, and the then candidate of Azimio, Raila. They are the people who brought this man who was not even the highest.
To the maybe if they have actually pledged and undertaken to ensure they fulfill that particular pledge.
They have not. They are not going to fulfill because these guys had sinister motives when they were engaging this particular man to start crushing our Ken. He is going everywhere in the villages pretending to be paying more on the Ken per ton, but he's harvesting immature Ken. And when you harvest Ken that is not mature, the disadvantaged person is the farmer because the tonnage will be low, but you will be gaining from the same. Yes.
Nice. Well, maybe a final person here, if you're a farmer or a former worker of Mumias Sugar, maybe have you maybe also joined hands with your former workers here under your unions to ensure you engage the miller here, of course the receiver manager here, to ensure your dues, your salary arrears are now settled?
Okay, kwa majina naitwa Hezron Kongani. I'm a former worker Mumias Sugar company. Tumekuja hapa siku ya leo kwa ajili tumeshachoka. Na punda akishachoka, ameshachoka. Si mara moja, wala mbili, wala tatu. In several occasions, tumejaribu kusukuma mambo hii ya arrears. Arrears so far, hakuna mtu yoyote amewahi kutijibu muko kwa within the pipeline of being paid, ama bado muko level gani. So far kufikia saizi, hakuna mtu amepata arrears. Kuna wafanyikazi ambao kampuni inaitwa ya Sarai hiyo imechukua kama wafanyikazi, ngaje most of them ni watu kutoka nje. Hao watu ukiwauliza pesa zenye wanapata, including some of the former workers wenye wako huko, unapata wanalipwa pesa duni kabisa. Ni wakati gani kiwanda kama cha Mumias Sugar Company kwa level yake, jina Mumias Sugar yenye tuliacha ikiwa ISO, inaandika mtu kama watchman? Hata watchman siku hizi anapewa kabarua, utakuwa unafanyia shilingi fulani, utakuwa unalipwa namna hivi. Lakini wafanyikazi watu wanaingia Mumias Sugar Company factory, hana barua yoyote ya kuonyesha yeye ni mfanyikazi wa huko. Na hiyo tumeprove. Tukishaona watu wakiumia huko, wanatupa tu, wengine wamezikwa tu kama vile mbwa inaanza kufa ni inaenda kuzikwa. Hakuna compensation yoyote kwa sababu hakuna agreement yoyote yenye wafanyikazi wa Mumias Sugar Company wameingia na mwajiri wao. Ukweli. Point ingine, Sarai amekuja kama investor. Na investor, maana investor, sisi wafanyikazi labda ndio atuelewi ama atujui. Na hata kama atuelewi, kuna watu wa kutuelezea investor inamaanisha nini. Sarai anajua ile kitu inahitajika. Sasa inafika wakati vile anapuuza vitu za koti, anapuuza nini? Kwani mfanyikazi ni kitu gani kwake na anaweza puuza koti? So imebidi tufikiria kwamba Sarai ako supported labda na government, labda Sarai ako supported na local leaders, ama kuna kitu inafanya Sarai anafanya chenye anafanya makusudi kwa ajili ya kuangusha Mumias Sugar.
Sawa. Well, because of time, we shall still be engaging in the subsequent bulletins. But Fathia, some of the issues here are actually delayed settlement of their salary arrears of the former workers here, and of course the farmers of the sugar farmers are really claiming that the receiver manager here hasn't really taken it upon himself to ensure that they actually produce sugar cane, of course, in partnership with contracted farmers here. But of course, they've actually been concentrating on the nucleus that may not really sustain the company, of course, according to the farmers and the workers. And also remember that when the president was here, really pledging to ensure he does away with the debts that are actually owed by the sugar millers. And of course, if that is actually done, then it